Hi everyone, we're back at the Higher Place podcast, Rediscovering Church. It's been such an amazing series and we're here for the final instalment. I'm Blessing at the Higher Place, I'm part of the media team and I'm also with
Hugh Barber, Bible study team lead.
Amazing. And I guess we're going to start off with, it's been such an amazing series, so it will just be really great to hear what you have learned, the biggest learnings, things that have impacted you the most about understanding the purpose of church. So it would be great to kind of dive into that and hear your thoughts.
Definitely. Yeah, it's been a really eye-opening series. We do a lot of series, but this one's special in that it's very practical.
Yeah, definitely.
So week 1 was the church still matters. Week 2 was church 101.
Yeah.
Week 3 was the persecuted church. And week 4 was when the church is the church. And for me, the persecuted church was the most memorable because and I think they said it today that it was the same for Mola and Daniel, because we take it for granted.
Yeah.
We don't have persecution in this country. We don't have to worry about carrying a Bible or a threat on our life for just attending church. So we need a wake-up call, essentially.
Yeah, definitely,
Otherwise, we get complacent and apathetic. If my life was threatened going to church, would I go to church?
Yeah.
That's really...
That's a big question.
That question you should ask yourself.
Yeah.
And if the question is no, well then that is how much your commitment is to church and to God.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we're called to lay down our life for God. And if we're not willing to lay down our life for the church, well, our commitment is quite shallow.
Yeah.
So we're either hot or cold, and we need to be hot.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think it was, I guess, a very impactful sermon, and it kind of made you kind of think about, how much you take for granted. Being a kind of, I guess, a society where, you can go to church freely and everything, and really puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
So I think it was a really, it was a chance for us to kind of reflect on ourselves and kind of evaluate and assess, where our heart is in that respect. That's great to hear your thoughts on that. I guess also throughout the series we've heard about, the Christian and their part in church and what that looks like. And it'd be great if you could expand upon that a bit more and just kind of also share your thoughts and what you've learned about that area as well. Yeah.
So my experience, I've come from 3 big churches, so mega churches, and this was my first experience of a small church.
Yeah.
But it's in this church that I've actually been more involved, and I've actually been able to portray my gifts of teaching and preaching. I've never taught or preached at any of my other churches except this church.
Yeah.
So there is a real blessing with small churches in that you can actually be involved more, and definitely. That you can practice your gifts that you couldn't in other bigger churches. So for me, I've preached a couple of times. I lead Bible study for the church, and that's how I'm wired. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm passionate about. And everyone needs to find their passion and their purpose in church, because we're only stronger together. Yeah. And we're only advancing the kingdom as much as we're actually taking part. So Mola said today in the service, only 54% of the high place are serving. So we've got to do better. We really have to do better. Yeah. Because the church needs you.
Yeah, definitely.
We need you to share your talents and to practice your gifts and to step out into all that God has called you to be. Yeah. Otherwise, we are weaker without you. The church needs you. Yeah. Blessing. And the church needs me. Yeah. And the church needs you. So please, don't put it off anymore. Don't make any more excuses. Just put your hand up and just do something, because we can all do something. Yeah. And just following on from that, I know that that kind of resonates with one of the kind of lines from today's sermon, which was
the church is a team that wages war together. So that also talks about us kind of, contributing our gifts and our talents. So yeah, we're great to hear about, what that looks like practically and how people can kind of get involved in that.
Well, whatever you're gifted at, whatever you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are introvert, some people are extrovert. So if you're an introvert, then multimedia team would be great, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If you're an extrovert, then you can join the worship team. Or if you're into prayer, you've got the prayer team. If you're into sharing the gospel, the evangelism team. I mean, there's a team for everyone.
Yeah.
There's always a need
in
church, and you just have to take that step of faith and just sacrifice your time and just do it. And if you don't know what your gift is or your calling, then just ask. Just ask any of the pastors. Yeah. And your life will grow to the level of your commitment to church, 100%. If you don't want to grow, then just do nothing. But if you really want to grow and become all that God has created you to be, the better version of you is to serve. Yeah. And Jesus said, I did not come to be served, but to serve. And he's now seated next to God in heaven for all eternity because he served as an example for us. Yeah. So just do what you're gifted at, do what you're passionate about, and the church will be so much richer for it. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like if you don't put anything in, you probably won't get anything out of it. So that's always the first step, just kind of, taking that step to join a team or just get involved somehow and just make that commitment. And then I guess God will lead you through that process. Yeah. Which is amazing. A bigger picture, Blessing, is that in 100 years' time, no one will really remember you. In 1,000 years' time, everything you ever did will be forgotten. Yeah. In 1,000,000 years' time, both of those will be true. The only thing that will really matter in eternity is building treasure in heaven. And that is serving the church, serving God's body, and laying down your life for others, and just doing what the Bible says. And God will bless you and bless your life throughout eternity and this life if you just do what God has gifted you to do. And just have that confidence and that faith to step out. And God will take you places. 100%.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think I love that point that, what we're doing is not just for now, it's for an eternity. We're just kind of like sown into the life that God has prepared for us, past and beyond this life. So that's so amazing that you've said that.
I've been reading a book called God's Generals. And the Salvation Army was started by William and Catherine Booth. And they established social services for the UK. And in 1888, they started a benefit system. 23 years before the British government ever started it in this country. The church was the trailblazer for social justice, for the benefit system, for getting people out of poverty, for giving people grants to start businesses, for so many amazing things we take for granted. The church was the pioneer of society, of becoming a better place, of raising people up. And the church today should still be a trailblazer for blessing our community and serving our community and getting people saved, getting people looked after and healed. Because there's so much brokenness in the world and there's so much need and not enough hands to help them. And we can do something, Blessing.
Definitely. I love that point because I guess it's just a great reminder that, what we do in the church should kind of overflow into the wider society and we should be having an impact wherever we go. So I think that's something that's so great to remember because I think sometimes people might think, what happens at church, it should stay within the body, but it's actually kind of a commandment by Jesus to actually go and spread that love. And we can do that via the church, as you just kind of like went through so many great examples. So yeah,
yes.
That's amazing.
Yep. Ephesians says the world is not peripheral to the church. The church is peripheral to the world.
Yeah.
So God's plan on earth is that our life would revolve around church, that we would become his hands and feet, and we would walk in power and authority to this world, irrespective of whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Irrespective, because we have the truth.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
The church is the truth of the world, the hope of the world, and the foundation of truth is the church.
Yeah.
So if we have the truth, we have to do something with it in a world of lies.
Yeah.
And there's so much good that we could do.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And I think with that thought, it just kind of emphasizes that the church is so much more than a building. And I think that's what sometimes people kind of limit it to, but it's like part of God's purpose and his eternal purpose.
Amen.
And there's so much we can kind of, there's so much we can benefit from by kind of plugging into that. Yeah. Which is great. I guess taking it onto like more of a, I guess like a personal level, how would you say the church has positively, I guess, impacted you?
Yeah, great question. Again, I came from big churches, so this is my first small church, and it's where I can actually apply my gifts, my talents, and actually, contribute more than I could before. Yeah. So, I'm really proud that I've led Bible study for over 2 years.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, that's so great.
And there's a lot of fruit that have come out of that. And I want to be part of something bigger than myself.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to be part of something that is going to change this city for Jesus. So there's more to do. Yeah. But like I'd love to do more. It's just having the time and the motivation, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think it's definitely a journey. And I think this series is just really helpful in kind of igniting that desire for us to want to kind of be more involved and recommit ourselves to God's church. We're definitely all on the journey and we're all kind of getting there step by step. I think my last question I would say would be like, if you're speaking to someone that's a Christian but they're a bit skeptic about church, what would you say to them?
Read the Bible and try to prove that it's wrong.
Good one.
Because the Bible has been around for thousands of years. And it's surpassed every generation that has tried to destroy it. Yeah. And it's still true today. It's timeless. And I was a skeptic when I was born again. I had a lot of questions. Yeah. I didn't agree with everything because I came from a worldly consumer attitude of Christianity, and then once I surrendered my life to God, the truth stood up for itself and the lies faded away. And I just tested it for myself. I asked the hard questions, and it's still true today. If you've got questions, just ask, because there are really tough questions with good answers. So it's a journey for everyone to discover for themselves. Yeah, definitely, And you just have to seek and ask, and the door will be open, the Bible says. Yeah. And Jesus said he's the way, the truth, and the life. So here's the path, here's the meaning, and here's the reality of our existence. Yeah. So either Jesus was wrong or he's true. And his life, death and resurrection are still true today. And are still impacting lives. That could not be an accident. 100%, 2,000 years later. That could only be the power of God. 100%, And I think that's so good that you mentioned that, we have to seek the truth for ourselves. I think the gospel is something that has to resonate with the individual on a personal level for it to have really a great impact in their life. So I think that's something that we want to encourage people to do, to seek the truth with your Bible and find out for yourselves, because it's all available for us. Come to Bible study.
Come to Bible study, so great. And then on the flip side, what would you say to an unbeliever that might be a bit skeptical about church, the institution, and like everything around it?
Try it out. Just try it out.
Yeah.
Just come consistently for a couple of weeks and find the right church for you.
Yeah. Because
you only grow to the level of your community that grows you. So you will. It's a journey for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's journey is different. So just find out what you need and get healing, because a lot of people come with a lot of baggage and brokenness into church, and that's fine, because church is a place of healing, of restoration. Yeah. But we also want to restore you to go and make disciples. And to spread the gospel and to do your gifts. There's a great movie called Master and Commander, Russell Crowe.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
And he attacks the enemy ship and he releases the prisoners of war.
Okay, yeah.
And then he gives them a sword. And he says, now that you've been released, go and fight.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's the same with the church. Okay, you've been born again, you've been set free, you've been healed, you've been delivered. Now take up a sword, take up a plough and get to work, because there's a war going on, there's a battle. And we've got to fight this battle of sin and the devil and darkness. That is the reality of our existence, that we were born in. So we've got to do something, and we all have a part to play. So get around good people and find your calling in life. Blessing. Everyone has a divine calling on their life, and you've got to find out what it is and just take steps, and then God will direct your steps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, once again, I guess it's the same kind of like message for the unbeliever, go and find who God is for yourself again, and like that may be, taking that step to plug into a church and finding out what it's about and trying to kind of become part of a community. So don't be afraid to take that first step, which is amazing. Is there anything else you would like to share about the series, or anything else that comes to mind?
Just that the high place would not be everything it is without us, without you, without me. And we would only be poorer without you. So we've all got to do something, and it doesn't matter what it is, just do something, and God will bless you. He will always bless your sacrifice, and you'll always come out of it better and stronger, with more maturity. You'll improve on so many skills, like just social skills, and just communication skills, people skills. You're just gonna. You never lose when you serve God. You always get more out of it. Definitely. And that's been my experience.
That's so amazing. I think, like as you said, like you're never going to lose when you do or you obey what God is telling you to do. It always works in your favour, and it's for His glory as well. So we just thank you so much for today. It's been so great to kind of like hear your thoughts about the series. You shared so many great learnings, and there's been so many great takeaways as well. And I know you're really sad that this is the last episode, but I'm sure we'll be back soon at some point. But we hope you enjoyed the series, and if you want to hear more about us or more about the church or more about the series, please check out our YouTube channel. But for now, we'll see you later. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.